We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us on the call. Ideally, we're meant to have nine. So 9 people showed interest. Is it 9 or 10? 9. 10 actually. The 10th person isn't able to join us this week. Um, so I'm guessing she will join next week. I'm not sure, but enough. Um, Too much talk. Let's go straight into it. Like I mentioned on the channel, sorry, on the group, the approach this is going to take is going to be classes, then tasks. Now, I figure that if we do just classes and I just teach you all the concepts and say at the end of the day, go and do something, I figure you won't really gain as much. So, so that's the essence of bringing in a project. So, as you're learning, you're actually doing, and then we look at the mistakes, what can be improved, till we get to the end of the day. So, by the end of it, my goal is that because as a product manager, you will do presentations, right? So maybe a workshop, a demo, a pitch, whatever the case, you to some extent you do presentations. So and one of the ways to also treat that. So aside from the product management, the knowledge itself, I'm also trying to make sure that additional skills like presentation skills, we also touch on something like that. So which then means that at the end of the day, you will put together like a pitch deck of everything you've been doing from the beginning to the end. You put together a pitch deck and present it. I'm thinking of inviting that at the end, tail end, that I'll invite maybe 1 or 2 people who are in the industry to come. Maybe somebody from product bodies, I don't know, maybe B or someone. I've not spoken with anybody yet. Then maybe one of my guys, the head of Bath products at Sterling, and I'm still thinking like that so that they can actually give you additional tips and just look at what you've done, basically. So I don't know yet. I'm not promising. This is just my first time of doing this personally. So I'm still trying to figure out how that's going to go. Then, aside the presentation, you will also everything you've worked on. You will work on a PRD, a product requirement document, and then you will also put together all your learnings into a portfolio. So a lot of people on product bodies have been using VZY, VZ.io. Personally, I prefer using WordPress to build my own stuff. But again, these are personal preferences. So, and I think VZ, I've tried it before. It's quite straightforward to use. So, you put together everything so that at least you have one product in your portfolio that you have worked on, and you can show your process from the beginning to the end. So that's what I'm hoping we can achieve at the end of the day. And of course, if you're able to put together a presentation, a proper presentation, and showing all these things, put together a proper PRD, and put together a like the portfolio, then what it will mean is that you've actually gained some of these skills. Um, because then if you've not gained any of those skills, you will not be able to arrive at the final destinations, basically. So enough talking about the approach and everything. Um, and okay, so it's 17, and let's get into the core of today. Today we will introduce who a product manager is, what product management is, the product life cycle, the software development life cycle, and I guess we will quickly introduce design thinking and empathy. So that's what we'll do today. Basically, let me share so I have a presentation I've worked on. I hope, yeah. Of course, I'll still introduce myself and all that. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, cool. Um, okay. So yeah, let's get started. Product management 101. Of course, my name is Emmanuel, and I will talk more about myself later. Um, throughout this course, these are some of the topics that will be shared. Then I'm going to. I did this in a rush. This slide in a rush. So I'm going to. I think there are a few things I want to add. I'm not sure yet. But really, these are some of the topics that I want us to touch. Introduction. The introduction is what PM is. That's what you are doing today. Then, so this product and software development lifecycle is also we'll also be touching that today. Then product discovery. That's where we are using design thinking. Product development. This here is where we're actually talking about agile development, Scrum, what Scrum is. Probably we'll talk about Kanban. We'll definitely talk about waterfall. Just introduction to product metrics. We won't go in depth in this, just basic what metrics is, what kind of metrics should you be looking at, based on the industry, based on the product, other vanity metrics, just like that. But we won't go in depth in finding, because again, at the end of the day, um the industry you work will determine some of these metrics, but it's just good to talk about it. Product strategy, we'll also talk about that very quickly. Here we'll be looking at product vision, product mission, OKRs. We'll be looking at objectives, key results, initiatives. And then also here in product strategy, we will be, I think that's where we'll also touch about on Canum theorem, like how to determine your MVP and all those things. And then we'll talk very briefly on product testing. I'm not sure if we'll talk about product testing and quality assurance, but if we have, maybe I'll bring someone in to talk about this. Then the stakeholder management and communication techniques. I'm thinking this will have this together with the final presentation and pitch. So bring in someone, talk about stakeholder management, communication techniques, and then wrap it up with your pitch and review it and just safe and goodbyes, basically. So that's the um, that's the what I'm thinking for the course. But of course, before we go ahead, I would like to meet everyone. I mean, um, we are all on product bodies together. I'm very silent. I'm very quiet on that. I think I've talked maybe 4 times in total. Yeah, I think 4 times or 3 or 4 times in total on that group since I've joined a while back. And and definitely we'll be on this journey together. So I would want to meet you before I introduce myself. So we'll just do um, a quick icebreaker. Please unmute. So let's just meet you. Your name, what do you do currently? What is your best product? And why is that your best product? And can also let us know if you have some experience in product management already, or if you are completely new and you're just trying to figure it out, or basically just your level of experience or your level of knowledge in product management. I'm just also trying to get that feedback so that I know the crowd I'm talking to and how to best pass the information. So again, your name, what do you do currently? What is your best product? Why is it your best product? And what's your current level in product management? Basically, that's the question. So let's start. I'll just start with the very first question on my screen, which is Victoria. Victoria, can we have you?
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Okay.
I'm Victoria Dumbi, and
Okay.
I'm currently a core member. I'm serving in Lagos State
Okay.
in a research department,
Okay.
and a newbie in product management. Like I have only taken a course online.
Okay.
I did the Tech for Dev boot camp. So
Oh,
I don't have any experience yet.
okay. Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
What's your best product and why? Why is that your best product? Any product.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this question, so I've not really thought about it. So
Yeah,
I can.
doesn't matter. Just think, or maybe a favorite product that you use. Any product, just a favorite. Doesn't have to be a. Again, this is just also just trying to get to know ourselves. It doesn't have to be a professional answer, or just relax and anything. Even if your best product is sweet, doesn't matter. And because the sweet doesn't matter, just whatever it is.
Okay.
Hmm.
My best product,
Mhm.
I would say, is okay, let me pick Twitter kind of, because that is what is helping me so far with my business. So
Oh,
the platform
cool.
has really helped me, and I use it basically every day.
Cool. Okay.
So
All right, cool. Thank you, Victoria. Nice to meet you. Um, Favor, let's have you next.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
My name is Favor, and I'm currently a student in Hasselt University.
Okay.
And my best product is actually a consumable. It's noodles, Indomie precisely as the brand. I
Okay.
actually love the product because it's easy and convenient to cook like one
Hmm.
way. Yeah.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Cool. 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 Thank you. Thank you, Favor. So I know you said you're a student, but do you have any experience in product management yet? Have you taken courses or anything like that yet?
No, as
Okay.
well,
So
in a
completely new.
yeah,
All right. Cool.
completely. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Maki.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
My name is Chamaka.
Okay.
Chamaka
So
Wanko.
your name
My name
is
is Chamaka Wanko.
Amaka. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. So, I'm currently working for a property agency.
Okay.
Yes, I work from home, so I don't go to work.
Okay.
Yes. So, so far, my best product. I don't think I have a best product, but let me just select something. I
Okay.
think it should be my WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes, because it's private. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's the answer. And then about the whether I have any
Friends.
knowledge,
Yeah.
yes, I don't. I'm new to product management.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Welcome. Nice to meet you. So
thank you.
Farati, the only guy amidst us. Please go ahead. So Farati.
Hi, everybody. Good
Hi.
evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tofarati. I just finished university last year.
Okay.
Um, in my service here in Lagos.
Okay.
I am an athlete. I play football here for with
Okay.
semi-professional team here
Okay.
in Lagos, and I'm hoping to leave Nigeria soon to play professionally abroad.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
in 2020, I came
Mm-hmm.
across the phrase product management while I was on YouTube,
Okay.
and I was intrigued because, okay, so a little bit of a backstory. In most of the football teams I've been in, I've been the captain of the team,
Okay.
and it has helped me to sort of take a background role in how
Okay.
things work, which is basically what product management is. That's what essentially product management is. So
Okay.
it was very easy for me to, grasp the concept of product management. But 2020 was the pandemic year, was the COVID year, so I had a lot of free time and free data on my hands. So occasionally, to answer the question, what my best product is, it's YouTube, and this is exactly the reason why.
Okay.
The one time I watched a video on product management and I liked it, started bringing more product management
More
videos to my
videos.
feed. You know, I watched a couple of videos where it was Indians or maybe Pakistani people just teaching about product management.
Mm.
Fast forward
Okay.
to 2021, I had an uncle who was starting a tech startup that worked with tax
Okay.
compliance in Nigeria. The name of the company is called the West Metro. And
Okay.
during the pandemic period, was asking me, what am I doing at home? The usual thing that African parents do. What are you doing with your time? Type of
Yeah.
thing. And I didn't really just want to say just football. So I told him I was interested in product management. And he said, "Oh, that's excellent." And he just started the tech startup. I was looking for a product manager. And I told him I didn't have any experience in product management. And he said it was okay with me coming to work for him and learning on the go.
Mhm.
So here's the caveat here. I do not like product management courses because I feel like it's too much information for me to
Yeah.
grasp. On the other hand, I understand fully the concept of a product manager, but obviously we're in a space where you can't just tell somebody you know how to be a product manager. You need to have certifications so that people can trust you with their work. So I think between 2021 and now, I've never really fully finished the product management course. But
Okay.
surprisingly, every time I watch more videos or read more things about product management, I just realize how simple it is to be a product manager.
Yeah.
So I guess you can say I have the managerial aspect of product management down. I just need more technical knowledge. I joined
Okay.
product body because of a friend. So I felt like if I have a community, it might help my learning process more because I really can't deal with courses and modules and blah blah blah. Whatever. So I have no experience working as a product manager in any company, but I understand what it means. So
Okay.
this program is really going to be helpful for me learning technical knowledge. Sorry if I took up a bunch of your
No,
time.
no, no, no. It's fine. It's
That's what
fine.
it is.
Yeah, it's
That's
fine.
what it is.
Yeah. Great
So
one.
YouTube is my favorite product. Maybe
Uh,
between YouTube and Twitter.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kofarati. Pleasure meeting you also. And Chinonso, let's have you.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also Esther, and currently I work as a secretary for an ICT firm.
Okay.
And I would say for now, my best product should be YouTube and LinkedIn.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
cutting between the both of them. And I would say YouTube because it's easier to learn things there,
Okay.
like just by watching videos. Personally, I'm not a self-learning person. Like I learn better one-on-one than through videos and the rest. But on YouTube, I just have to go through these videos like twice to get the
Yeah.
concept of whatever I want to get. And then I
Mm.
would say LinkedIn because you get to network with people who would eventually help you or be of positive influence to you. The
Mm.
people that can add value to your
To
life or your career. And then as for the aspect of if I've ever done anything related to product management, I was privileged to join Tech for Dev. We just concluded a 3 weeks boot camp.
okay.
So that's just it basically. And I was opportunity to work. We actually had to do a presentation of a
Okay.
project. I was opportunity to be the team leader of those who created the user flow. So I had to work on it. That's the only experience I have. I don't know how to create a PRD. I don't know how to do the rest. I just know theory. I don't know practical. That's
Okay.
just it.
Okay. Thank you, Chinonso. Great meeting everyone. Um. So it seems that the audience is mostly new, like totally new, except for maybe a video here, a course there, and all. And like, well, Sofarity was talking, was it Sofarity now that mentioned, or when, so yeah, I think Sofarity mentioned that there are too many resources out there for product management and it can be overwhelming, really. And so it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. It's also one of the reasons why I thought about that there's a product I'm thinking of also working on the side, which basically helps newbies complete. Because when I was getting into product management, also there were just too many information, and I didn't know exactly where to start. But the plus, the only major thing that, and I didn't do a course. The major thing that worked for me was that I got an internship in a company um, who, who like had senior PMs, more senior PMs that were more experienced, and they basically mentored me or tutored me basically. So I didn't, although yes, I still had to do some of the watching videos, learning these concepts. How do you do this? But my boss was like a sink or swim, gives you task, figure it out. So it was primarily and hands-on, like coming in, the first after onboarding, um, coming in, my onboarding, I think 2 days onboarding. By the third day, um, I was given the documentation of, yes, I didn't do any course. I was given a documentation of the product I was going to be working on. It was an internal tool. I was just given the documentation. We were two that came in. I came in as a PM. A lady friend came in as a quality assurance person. So she was going to be the QA on that product. I was going to be the PM on that product. Of course, there are senior PM with engineers and two senior engineers basically. And then that was it. I came in and yeah, just sink or swim. I was given, okay, this is what you're trying to achieve. And it's a new product. Like they've done the scoping, but it was like a new product basically. So I did a course, then the company paid for a course on Jira for me, which I watched to understand how to use Jira. Um, then the QA person also introduced us to APIs very quickly, how to test APIs. Like so, just get your hands dirty. And so along the line, I figured out how to swim basically. And yeah, but I didn't do any course. In fact, before I applied for that internship, I had not had anything product management before. I was working in a microfinance bank, and yeah, I needed to change something. I had learned Java in 2008 before going to school. But when I got to school, my system was bad, my desktop was bad. I didn't have a laptop early enough, so I just left programming. So aside that, I didn't do any other thing tech until this time when I just saw the role, I applied, but also because yeah, some of these management concepts they came a little bit easily for me. Then by then I was used to just checking things out, searching Google, checking things out. So the tasks we were given, I found out okay, how do I do this? And I figured it out, did it. I didn't finish the task, but I just made sure I submitted something. And I came in, and then the product was handed over to me immediately. So yeah, so I felt um, most people that are trying to get into the field, they are reading this, watching this video, doing this course, doing that course, getting that certificate, and all that. And I feel like that's really not how to get the right knowledge. The main way to get the right knowledge is just to do the task. Just understand the basic concepts at the beginning and do a project. Like get your hands dirty. So, which is the reason why this course is also taking this shape. And I know I'm talking too much on like introduction, but just trying to lay some form of foundation. Um, also, yeah. So just a quick information about myself. So my name is Emmanuel Oluwasomi Ojo. Emmanuel is my first name. Most people know me as Sonny actually, but depending on the But professionally, I go with Emmanuel Ojo. Yeah. So anyone is fine. At O Emmanuel Ojo is my Twitter. It's my Instagram. It's yeah. My LinkedIn, just Emmanuel Oluwasomi Ojo. If in full, you'll find me on LinkedIn. I don't really use Twitter that much. I don't really use Instagram. In fact, social media apps, there are times I don't even go online for like a week and I'm fine. Like I just feel it's too much stress on me. So I don't really use it as much. But yeah, you can find me at O Emmanuel Ojo online. Um then I by June, June is starting in 3 days, about 3 days. By then it will be 6 years of experience managing software products. I have a mechanical engineering degree from Federal University of Technology, Akure. And immediately after I finished from FUTA, I worked as a technical sales engineer slash project manager in a startup, a mechanical engineering firm. So the startup. Manage a few projects, manage 2 projects, one for Oriental Foods, that's the company that makes popular milk and all. And yeah, and yeah, for one other project at Artsy still in Ogun State. Then I left there for my NYSC. Then after NYSC, went to work in a bank. Then transitioned from the bank into product management 6 years ago. Yeah. So, and yeah, between that time and now, I've built products across the insurance space. We've built a product in the finance fundraising space. I currently primarily manage an edutech product. Um, Although I also have worked on discovery for 2 other edutech products. Um, Also a social media product, then a marketplace. And so primarily for me, what I'm looking at currently is just to help new product people, new PMs, new PMs that are just getting into the field, just helping them find their feet. That's primarily what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I love plantain and gari. If you ask me for my best food, I'll probably say I don't have a best food, but maybe plantain and gari will pass as the best food. Then yeah, I love a lot of things actually. I like just getting new knowledge and all that. But photography is something that I've also always liked, and I'm just trying to get into it. And yeah, if you ask me what my best product is, my best software product, I would say it's YouTube. I spend an unhealthy amount of time on YouTube. Like I remember on Saturday, um, I was 100% free on Saturday, and I spent practically the whole day on YouTube, watching different things from scam artists that were discovered to current news to like just across different topics, just watching different things. Yeah. So YouTube, yeah, will be my best software product, really. And yeah, going to just we started though. If you, I hope everybody can still hear me because now we
Yes,
started.
I can
Okay,
hear you.
all right. So let's run. So for today, these are the things. These are part of the things we will cover, and I'll run through that very quickly. Um, yeah. What's the product now? There is something I noticed, and especially because most of us are like trying to get in the tech space, or we currently work in like tech space, somewhat like close to tech space, or we have some tech friends and all. I think out of everybody, the only person that whose favorite product is not a software product or that is not an app is favor. I remember when I was talking about my favorite product, I said my favorite software product will be YouTube. And the maybe my favorite product will be a camera, DSLR video. That thing is very complicated. How everything works, how the sensor works, how the ISO and all that, it's quite complicated. Maybe that would be, I'm not sure. But I noticed that, yeah, Favor was the only person that said her favorite product will be noodles. And that's because it's very easy to prepare, just few minutes and you are done. But every other person mentioned WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Yeah, so, and yeah, a product is not necessarily, especially when anybody, if you get the question anywhere, that what is a product? A product is anything really. The shoe is a product. The clothes you are wearing now is a product. If you have joined this call on your mobile phone is a product. If you have joined on your laptop, the laptop is a product. But if joined through the Google Meet app or Google Meet web app, and the Google Meet web app or the app itself is also a product. The A towel is a product. Apps are product. Hamburger is a product. A car is a product. Whatever, anything. And the primary definition of what a product is anything offered to a market that can satisfy a want or a need. It could be, and I hope we know the difference between want and need. Need is something you can't live without. The basic needs are housing, shelter, and food. Food, housing, shelter, those are like basic needs. So any product that is meeting needs, that is meeting housing, shelter, sorry, food, shelter is also housing, sorry, food, clothing, shelter, rather. So anything that is meeting needs in food industry, in clothing industry, in shelter properties, they are products. Really, of course, some of those products are then some of those needs are can now some of those things set in those industries can also be a want. For example, I could be looking at creating housing for the mass market where people 95 hours like civil servants can afford. And then someone else is offering a 5,000 square meter house that has a pool, that has two pools, has a gym. Now, it's also shelter, but it's a want for some, but for some, it's a need. So just trying to clarify the want and need. But anything, any product. So if one is anything that is outside food, shelter, clothing. So like tourism, like going to a particular place is a and going there for sightseeing. That place you've gone to for sightseeing is a product. Because okay, you want to go for vacation, and a place has been provided. That place is meeting your need for vacationing. That thing that is meeting your need is it's a product. And products can be physical goods, they can be services, they can be digital experiences. A music album is a product. Um, like a song is a product because that song to the market wants that song, they enjoy it. That's the person's product. So they're digital product. Digital can be music, books, any of those things. Let me not hammer on this too much, but the primary definition is of a product is anything offered to a market that can satisfy in want or in whatever industry belongs to. That's called a product. Now, for example, for in tech, most times when we are talking about products, we talk about software products, really. A mobile app, a web app, API project product, whatever software product or software services. That's what we talk about most times, and that's the reason why most times when you ask anybody in the tech world or tech adjacent world, what the product is, they will, or their best product, they will most times say that their best product is a software, a particular software, a particular service that like a software product basically. But the reason why I'm bringing this first is it's important for us to know that a product can be anything, and product managers are everywhere. For example, and in some companies, they are called project managers. In some companies, they are called program managers. In some companies, they are called researchers. So research and R&D department, research and development in some, for example, a company that is pharmaceutical that creates drugs. There's a research and development department that they are looking at how can they make a better drug, constantly doing that research. That drug that they are getting is actually a product. The person in charge of making sure that that product is created, is researched, properly researched, tested, and all those things. That person is called a different thing, but can also be referred to as a product manager, in my own opinion. And for example, I know a product designer who has a master's from a UK university, I believe, UK or US, I don't remember now. And he's a product designer, but he does not do UI UX. You know, almost every time you hear product designer, you feel like you think they are UI UX. This guy is a product designer, but he's he's a hardware product designer. So because your bottled water, the bottle itself, there are things that have been looked at, the ergonomics, the shape, the aesthetics, and everything that have been looked at to before they decide on the final shape and look of the bottle. And that cuts across everything. So this guy is a product designer, but he can't do UI UX. He can't. He does graphics, yes, but he does primarily um hardware product, really. So it was just important to really drill this down so that we don't make that mistake of thinking product is just software. Product is anything. Now, but going forward, what then is product management? And this is the important question, first important question. And yeah, product management basically, so we talked about products, right? What a product is. So product management is just everything you need to do to everything you need to do in the process of creating that product and managing that product in the market. The way I put it is it encompasses all the tasks. So all the tasks that you have to carry out, all the actions you have to carry out to identify the appropriate product for the market you want to launch that product in, and make sure that that product succeeds in the market. Everything in between is product management. And I'm also trying to make us really understand this concept, because I've seen some places where a product manager is just doing the work of a project manager. And some people think product management is just you managing developers and making sure developers are building the right thing. Okay, let me just even ask, especially for anybody that knows people in the tech industry, um, do you have you seen? Okay, let me just ask this way: if you have seen product management as just managing developers and making sure that they develop the right thing, just type, or you can unmute and say yes, or type one in the type, or just type in the comment. I just want to know like our experiences again. So if in your experience or your knowledge about product management, or your thinking about product management is just managing the product, making sure that the product is built and you launch, that's what product management is. Just you can in the chat just drop a comment that maybe one or yes. Anybody? Okay. So if nobody, okay. So if no one has dropped it, so I think it's a very, very good, very, very good that you've not seen product management that way, because you get into some companies and all you are doing is just you are chasing after tasks and making sure that the product, the developers are writing the code, testing their tickets, and then you want to launch, and you launch the product. That's not that subset. That's a part of product management. Product management is primarily understanding the product management starts from the idea generation. There's this problem, we want to solve this problem. How do we go about solving this problem? That part of even generating the idea, testing the market, and building the product, then launching the product, making sure the product succeeds in the market, and then maybe killing the product or spinning the product off to something else in the future. All that is product management. So it involves planning, developing, testing, launching, and iterating on the product. Please, are you still with me? Are you still with me? Just feedback. Cool. All right, cool. Thank you for the feedback. So yeah, so a quick case study. You have just been employed as a PM in a digital marketing agency, and your team has been assigned the responsibility of building a web-based platform that streamlines social media management for businesses. The project has a timeline of 3 months, quite tight, from planning to completion. How would you approach this? Now, it's a rhetorical. Think about how you would approach it. There are two approaches. One is wrong, one is right. The first approach is you have the product you want to build. Then you think about the features. You meet the developers, the engineers that are going to write the code. You meet with them. Okay, so manager said you are building this thing. What are the features you should have? You discuss it together, then start building it and just hope to meet the targets. And then you just launch. Now that's an approach, but that is a terrible approach to product management. That's very, very terrible. And doing that is surefire way to fail. That product most likely, it might succeed, but that product most likely will fail. What product management is a lot. This is just some of it. Product management is user research, it's product discovery, it's market research, it's strategy, how to launch the product, what metrics should you track, how testing the product with how usable is the product, testing the product itself internally, it's project management, like making sure that you deliver to time on budget, it's writing user stories, it's managing stakeholders, and this stakeholder management is quite big actually. It's communication skills. How do you communicate properly? How do you communicate properly and pass things right information to pass in the right way to upper management, to the people on your level, to engineers, to fellow PMs, to the QA, because all these people, they think differently. An engineer thinks differently to a data analyst. A data analyst thinks differently to a product manager, and the CEO is interested in knowing how is this product doing, where are we, and how much have we made, or how much are we going to make. That's the marketing is focused on how do we market this product. Our clients want this feature, and how do you market it properly? So how to communicate across all the stakeholders and manage all these stakeholders. That's just some aspect of product management. It's a lot. So the reason why I'm also putting this, the concept of product management is easy. However, the real work of product management, especially if you are working in a startup where you do everything, the work itself can be quite intimidating. Because so we have companies, bigger companies, where you have the product manager, you have the business analyst, you have the product owner, you have the product analyst. Now these are 4 different teams that are that they've splitted the product management roles across these people. So the product manager in title will not necessarily write tickets or write or will not be in charge of like managing the developers, and so that will be the product owner and all that. Now, that's fine. However, if you're in a startup where they don't have all those roles and they're just product manager, you are doing all these things. So your day-to-day activities are mostly different. For example, the day today you might need to do user research, you might need to talk to customers, then you might need to present, you might need to work on wireframes. Like, so day to day, you are constantly just doing things. And don't forget, there's one core thing. As a product manager, and we'll still talk about that when we are talking about who a product manager is. As a product manager, if the product fails, it's you. If the product succeeds, it's the team. So keep that in mind. If the product fails, it is you. If the product succeeds, it is the team. So it's quite important. So you are constantly doing different things, working with different people, managing fights and all that at different times. So, but product management really is just all this and more. And yeah, let's then go very quickly into who a product manager is. We've talked about what a product is, what product management is. Now, who is a product manager? So, how many of you have heard the product manager is the CEO of a product? If I've heard it before, it's just thumbs up. Nobody. I guess still with me, just to be sure that we are still together. All right. Okay, cool. So, so Farati, you've heard product manager is the CEO of a product before. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Now, don't let them scam you with all those definitions. Really. Don't let them scam you. And I'm taking a class this way, really, especially with the way I'm talking is I don't want it to be too costly. Permit me to use that word, where we are just really talking about the concept. I'm also trying to bring in the reality into all this. Now, some people will say the product manager is a multi-talented ball juggler, which is true. Because don't forget the products, don't forget what talk about product management is. We are doing all this, especially in a startup. So yeah, it's true that you are a multi-talented ball juggler. It's also true that you are a CEO of the product. And it's also true that you are the intersection between users, technology and business, the UX, technology and the business, you have the intersection. But this CEO of the product, I want to talk more about it. As a product manager, you can think that you are the CEO, but you are not. Because truly, a CEO is in charge. Is in charge and can issue and say this is how we are doing it. Can issue commands and say you do this, you do this, you do this. Right? That's the CEO. The CEO is above all people under it. So the CEO, the CFO, the CT, the chiefs, they are the ones on the same level, but every other person they are lower. However, as a product manager, okay, so the CEO has the right to can influence by authority. As a product manager, you cannot influence by authority. You cannot rule by authority. You do it by influence. That's yeah, you do it by influence. Because so see it this way. I told you that when I started as a PM, I was totally new to it. I was going to manage a product. The QA was also new to it, although the QA also had like a QA, senior QA to look up to. Then I was primarily the PM on that project, right? On that product. The other PMs were just telling me, okay, this is how to do it, this is how to do it, these are the things to look out for, take this material, read up on it, and then like just giving me tips, but not that they were on the team with me and they were lead and they were the ones writing the ticket and I was just shadowing them. Not exactly. But the engineers on the team, for example, one of the engineers on the team was like the most senior in the company. So, as a PM that does not have any experience in how to code, how do I want to lead that person by authority? Is in terms of authority, I'm an intern. It was a full-time study, was like the engineering lead. I'm an intern. If anybody's leading by authority, it's going to be the engineering lead, right? Not me. So, and that happens a lot of times in product management where the people you are talking to, they are higher than you, they are lower than you, they are on the same level with you. So the only way to lead is actually by influence, not by authority, which is not what a CEO is. A CEO can lead both by influence and by authority. But as a PM, you only lead by influence, not by authority, really. Or except you are the VP of product or senior product manager and you are leading other junior product managers by authority. Except that, but in your team, everyone on your team, you are basically on the same level. So, and the reason why I'm dwelling more on this is, please don't ever get to that point where it gets to your head that you are the PM and everybody has to do what you want to do, or everything has to be your way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Anyone? Please just feedback. I like feedbacks. So yeah. So don't ever get to that point where you feel like, oh, you're the PM, the engineer, okay, this is what you want to do, like you know better than everybody. No, don't ever. Because it's one thing that can very easily put you in troubles with your team members. I just wanted to iterate that. But yeah, it's true, you are constantly juggling so many balls, and you are the intersection between the user experience, the business, the technology, the marketing, sales, customer support. You are basically just in between everybody and trying to make sure that, again, don't forget, product management goes through ideation, through building of that product and launching that product and making sure that product succeeds in the market. So marketing is in charge of making sure that product succeeds. Sales is also there. Data analysts are there, or business analysts are there, looking at data and all those things. So they are, how do I put it now? They are, so you are in the center of all that. And your primary job as a product manager is to make sure that you make the product succeed. Now, so the real definition, the way personally I like to define the product manager is you are the champion of the product or service within the company. Whatever product it is that you are in, you are the champion of that product, not the CEO, not the you can still say team lead, but sometimes not necessarily, but not the CEO, not the guy at the top, but you are the champion of that product, not the people. You are the champion of that product, not the people. Champion of the product or a product or service within the company. A product manager. Now, these are the three key things really to look at. And yeah, the three key things is you are responsible for building the right product to solve the right problem. Someone is trying to join. Welcome, Oluwaseun. Okay, I think he's trying to join. Yeah, welcome, Oluwaseun. Thanks for joining us. So you need just some information. We started, we are basically starting slow. This is being recorded so you can refer to the early parts that you missed. Yeah, But Oluwaseun, just to be sure that you can hear me. You can hear me, just do a thumbs up so I know that you are with us. All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, so a product manager is responsible for building the right product. That's number one. To solve the right problem. That's number two. And ensure the product succeeds in the market. So the right product, tackling right problem, and ensure product success. That's the definition of the product manager. And you know that finding the right product and identifying the right problem is a lot of work on its own, a lot of things involved. Then making sure that product succeeds in the market also is a lot of work on its own. So as a PM, you are juggling so many balls just to make sure that things happen. So a product manager first identifies the right problem to be solved. There are so many problems to be solved in the market. Not all of them are the right problem. And yeah, there's maybe to digress a little bit here. Okay, let me just so identifying the right problem. Then after identifying that this is the right problem to be solved, which is one of the hardest parts, in short, not the three parts are hard actually. Once you've identified out, but there are frameworks that helps make it simple. Once you've identified the right problem to be solved, you then find out what is the right solution to solve this right problem. And then you build that solution, and then you launch it and make sure that solution succeeds in the market. Now, each of these is a lot of work. So identifying the right problem is product discovery. Building the right solution at this point, that's the project management part, and product development, project management part. Then making sure the product succeeds, that's maintenance part. Now, just to that you have the right problem and you are solving it the right way does not mean that product will succeed. There are a lot of products that have failed, not because they are not solving the right problem, not because they don't have the right solution, but maybe because there's a policy that just kills them. If you remember what happened in Lagos, I think that was, what year was that? I've forgotten, maybe 2019. I don't even recall. I don't recall. When Lagos they just woke up and said and banned all types of motorcycles, including Gokada, and Opay rides and everybody. Of which, before that time, and the policies have been that if your bike is less than 200 ccs, you should not be on the major roads. And that's what the government has been saying. That's the then that Okada riders should be trained. So the Okada guys, they've created a system where they bought a lot of 200 cc's and above bikes. They train their staff to make sure that they are very safe. They have the helmets, like there's everything is checked. But government just wakes up and says, okay, no motorcycles, whatever this is, no motorcycles, commercial motorcycles on the road. Now, eventually Gokada transition from people to logistics. But that's a product, right problem, right solution, but then a policy. It could be right problem, right solution, right, but you're too early to the market. There are products like that they came way ahead of their time. There are products that came way late that other people have tried to solve it, then you come in again and you are late. That most likely will happen in the fintech sector very soon if people are not careful and people keep on coming with similar products that does practically the same thing and they are not changing, like doing it, because there are a lot of fintech products now that they are basically doing it but almost the same way. Now, so it's to get to a point where someone else wants to enter the fintech industry and wants to do it a particular way, and then it's already saturated. So that also is there. Then you could also, the product could also fail because Like product can fail for so many reasons, so many reasons. But the most important thing is, as a PM, you want to be sure that your product is not failing because you have the wrong problem, or that your product is failing because you have the right problem but you have the wrong solution. If it fails because of government policies, you're way ahead of your time, or maybe, or whatever. Because, for example, every time, I don't know if you know about that, some of these big companies, for example, Google, when they want to release new like Android OS, they do like this major, they do this, what's it called, these announcements. There's iOS when they're releasing their new iPhone, iPad. They, different companies, Canva did theirs, I think last week. Now, one thing I've noticed is there are so many companies that dies by when anytime Apple comes out to make their new announcements. There are so many products that people have built as a standalone product that Apple, Google, Meta, they just release it as a feature in their products. They just release it as if it's a new feature in their products. And then it totally just kills another product in the market. So I'm just saying that there are so many reasons why products will fail. And I'm also trying to drill down on this so that we have that mindset when we are thinking about product. For example, sometimes one of the things I like doing is watching on YouTube. Sometimes is watch some of these products that fails and look at why did they fail. Some of them were failed because the owners were spending money anyhow. Some failed because a lot failed because of different reasons. So sometimes what I do basically is just watch those things. Then there's a book that I bought that I read. One of the series I read a couple of years ago. It's titled How is it How They Fail or Why They Failed? It just looks at a couple of businesses and talks about what they were trying to do, what their approach was, and why they failed. For example, Kodak failed because you see companies like Kodak that failed, companies like Nokia that failed. Kodak failed because they had the right technology, they were ahead of their time. If they had kept on building on it, they would have been the leader till now. However, they've just felt like no, what they have is the best and nothing else can displace them. That's exactly how Netflix also displaced Blockbuster. Blockbuster felt like Netflix wasn't going to work, and by the time they saw that Netflix was going to kill them, they were meant to buy Netflix, but they gave a very very stupid. The deal didn't go through, and then they because they thought like the Netflix wasn't going to work. And then Netflix came and just practically killed Blockbuster. So I just like watching some of those things. And I would advise you to also just so that you get into how companies fails, how product fails, and all that. It's also some good things to pick up as a product manager. But back to the topic that we are treating. So just to summarize, a product manager identifies the right problems, builds the right solution, and gets the solution to succeed in the market. And also important to know that a product manager, I like to think about it as a product manager is more or less a people manager because you're managing people from like managing engineers, managing marketers, managing sales team, managing like you are more or less like at the different levels of creating a product and identifying the problem, building the solution, and making it succeed. There are people involved at every point, so you're managing people across the path. So I like to think about it that way, which leads us to qualities that a product manager should have. And there are a lot of qualities, but I'm just going to do two major ones, emotional and core skills, and I'm going to do 4 under each, and I'll go over them very quickly. Under emotional, and the reason for emotional intelligence is, like I said, you are managing people at every step of the way. you're managing people. So you need to be emotionally intelligent as a PM. That's the only way you will have a very successful team, and people will, and you'll be clashing with people again and again and again. Now, the first one is empathy. And empathy, basically, empathy is not sympathy. It's not the same as sympathy. Sympathy is you feeling their pain, and then you're not doing anything about it. You're just sympathizing with them. Oh, I feel your pain. Sorry, pity party. That's just sympathy. Like, empathy is putting yourself in their shoes, trying to understand them, but not trying to understand them alone, but trying to understand them so that you can make things better for them. That's the way I define empathy, really. So, well, for example, when you are listening, when you are doing interviews and you are listening to people, you are trying to find out the root cause. You are listening, you are seeing emotional cues, you are seeing where they are pain, you are drilling down to really understand their pain. Then when you understand their pain, you are finding, okay, how can you solve their pain, basically? And this cuts across not just the users of the product, but the developers also, or everybody across board. For example, your engineers are fighting with the designers. You are trying to understand the designers, the engineers. You're trying to understand them, like they're just understanding them in their own space, basically, and then finding ways to make sure that the things are better and they don't have any issues and they can work together and the matter is resolved. That's empathy, really. That's one skill, and these are things that you keep practicing and you keep improving on. I'm not there yet, I'm not even halfway there, but the more I do it, the better I become. There's also self-awareness. You have to be fully self-aware because challenges will come. You have to be sure of yourself. You have to like, self-awareness helps you not to give up, basically. That's one thing that it helps you with. It helps you not to give up because days will come when you have imposter syndrome, where you feel maybe you're not good enough. And I've had that a number of times, a lot of times. Self-awareness just helps you not to give up. Then influencing skills, you need to know how to influence. Like we said initially, as a PM, you need not by authority, but by influence. So you need to know how to influence people, how to, when to beg them, when to buy something for them, when to, like, different things, when to use data, when to give up, give in, when to, how to choose your battles, when to, like, just different ways to influence, basically. Then, and which ties in with relationship management, managing people, basically. Managing clients, managing teammates, managing stakeholder management, all comes in here. Managing up people up above you, people in your level, people below you, and all that is also considered. So those are some emotional intelligence skills that you need to have. Then there's core skills. As a product manager, you need to understand the vision and the strategy, and you need to know how how your product ties into the overall company vision, company goals, company mission, company strategy, and also coming up with your own product vision, your own product strategy. It's a skill, and it's something that we'll talk about when we are talking about product strategy. Delivery management is when it comes to like the project management things, how to make sure that you, like when you're coding, when you're working on a project, a particular project, how to make sure you manage scope properly, you stop, you debar scope creep, you finish in time with the resources that you have and all those. So basically, how to deliver the product. This is also a very important skill. Then research, you do a lot of research, user research, market research, competitor research, this research, that research. So you must know how to research. Google has to be your friend. Nowadays, AI has to be your friend. Um, Researching has to be your friend. Different user research skills. Um, surveys, interviewing, and all those things have to be your friend. They are important skills. Then communication skills, how to communicate with people. There are writing skills, verbal communication, written communication. It's quite important also. So those are qualities of a PM. So, and I'll just very quickly just also mention types of PMs. Now, this, I'm not going to talk about everything because there are many ways people divide PMs. There are so many ways. For example, they can say it's design focused PM, is a technical PM, is a data PM, is a B2B PM, a B2C PM, is a, like, there are so many ways, really. But a B2B PM primarily just focuses on building products for other clients. So B2B is business to business. You are a product manager in, and that's where I start. One of the places I started. You are a product manager in company A. Company A builds product for other companies. So company B has come to your company for you to build a product for them. So you are the product manager in company A, but you are building a product for company B. But company B is not really yeah, so basically you are doing enterprise, you are building for companies, and oh, that's B2B. B2C is you are building directly to the market. So for example, I build for example, a product like Udemy. Udemy will be or Udemy, Coursera, and some of those other products, EDX, those tech products, they are B2C because you are building for customers directly, like for consumers. So it's not as if you are building for a company and then the company now launches that product for their consumers. No, you are building directly to consumers. So that's the difference. So we have B2B, B2C. Technical PM basically is just a PM that on that understands the engineering aspect. Maybe it was a former developer, or he knows how to code, or he knows the DevOps, cloud, and all those things, or he's a data engineer. So those are technical because you are, so when most times when people are looking for a technical PM, they want someone that understands the technology behind it, is the things primarily also, and is also able to get their hands dirty in when guys are talking about the technical jargons, and also able to give direction on this is are the technologies we should use and all that. But yeah, so then you have some PMs that are more business focused. They are not really technical, but they are fully that they are very business focused. We have some that are very data focused. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is as a PM, you should at least understand some basics of, like, you remember that as a PM, you are in the intersection of business, engineering, you design, marketing, data, and all those things. So they are not skills. You don't have to have all those skills to start. But as you go, they are important skills. It's important that you understand the different, some of this, at least little bit of when for example, when an engineer is saying they have a pull request, what does that mean? Databases, when they say like basic database knowledge, basic SQL knowledge, some of those things is just important gradually as you go. To understand these things bit by bit. Then the more you work with these people, the more you understand them, and the better it is. But at the beginning, it's fine. Like I said, going in, I don't really know anything technical. I wasn't a designer, but along the line, sometimes when they are troubleshooting something, sometimes I sit beside them and we are looking at the screen together. And the interesting thing is, very few instances, one or two instances, I've spotted something in their code base that I'm like, okay, what are you trying to do here? And we are looking at it. I'm like, okay, I think this is an error because then this logic does not really do what you're trying to do. And then, like, basically me spotting where something went wrong. I'm not saying that happens every time. Maybe in my career after like 6 years, maybe like 2, 3 times. But one of the things I do is I sit with it. So when they are troubleshooting something, sometimes. For example, recently we're trying to migrate our Jenkins server, like our DevOps pipeline, and some things went wrong. And for days we were looking at it. And yeah, I sat in every of those meetings, looking line by line at what could be, until I understood the once I don't understand that, then okay, can you tell me what's going on here? But I sat there line throughout, trying to understand everything. I brought in someone else, like an external person, to help us look into it for the team. I was there. So it's just I intentionally do that so that I can pick up some of this knowledge so that the next time, again, for me to do that, important, don't forget, I had to become their friend first. So that me sitting with them when they are troubleshooting does not look like I'm trying to micromanage them. I had become their friends, or not necessarily their friends. I had like become close enough such that when we get into situations like that, or we are it looks they to them they know that, oh, I'm there to also work with them to solve the problem, not that I'm there to try and micromanage. So, and that's where influencing relationship skills, communication skills, that those are the places where it has played a large role in my own career. Then just something very quickly here: product management, project management. um you'll have seen this 2 times. The key difference is, for product management, you are focused on the what are we building, why are we building it, on the product. And the goal is the value of the product and the success, market fit, does it make market fit, and how can we make it succeed? And some of the core skills you need is strategy, market research, and all. Well, for project management, it is how are we going to build this thing and what's the timeline? And your focus is building on time, executing on time, within budget, within scope. Those are your focus. And your core skills here will be planning and execution. So for you to completely manage a product from ideation to launch and post-launch maintenance, you have to do project management in between. So I can say that project management plays a role in product management also. So and we'll talk about project management when we got to a particular point. I hope you guys are still with me. I hope I'm not boring you. I think let me just take a pause and ask if if anybody's getting yeah, are you getting value so far? And do you have any question so far? Any question at this point? You can unmute your mic if you have any question. If you don't have any questions, can you do a thumbs up? I want to be sure that everybody's still on the call. Okay, thank you, Favor, teaching also. Thank you, Tofarati. Thank you, Victoria. Maki, are you still with us? Maki, are you still with us? Chiamaka, are you still with us? Yes, okay, cool. Thank you. So, we are 9:31. Let's go. Let's just also touch this. So we'll just touch product lifecycle, software development lifecycle, and we'll stop there. And because of time, next time that's when we'll start the development, the discovery phase itself. So the discovery phase is really where the task is going to start. All this is just introducing of the concepts, some general concepts. Then just to get started, then we'll start. So let's go through product lifecycle and software development lifecycle very quickly. So when we talk about now the product lifecycle, there are 2 major life cycles that you need to know as a product manager. There are a couple of other ones that might come your way eventually. So one thing to warn you about product management, there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of materials, there are a lot of concepts, there are a lot of frameworks, there are a lot of methodologies, there are a lot of tasks. Your job is not, especially at the beginning, Your job is not to understand everything. Your job is to understand the basic flow a product will take. And when you understand the stage that you are in, you can look for any tool that can help you solve that problem. For example, there are so many tools that you can use for wireframe. So many tools you can use for whiteboarding, process flow. There are so many tools out there. There are so many tools you can use for task management, like Jira, Trello, Asana, Monday.com, Linear.com. Like there are so many, so many, so many. Your job is not to know how to use everything because you can never know how to use everything. And there's always a new shiny one. There's always something shiny. There's always something new. Your goal is what stage are we in the life cycle? What are we trying to achieve at this point? Then what are the tools that are available? Which of these tools is best for me that I can use? For example, there's product plan, product board, and a lot of other ones for managing roadmap, product roadmaps. So your goal is okay now at this stage you need to build roadmaps. Which of these tools is best for me? Then you learn that tool and you use that tool. Then along the line, maybe you have spare time, you can now learn additional tools. But the most important thing is not the number of tools that you have on your CV that you can use. The most important thing is that you can do the actual task with whatever. If your road mapping tool, if you don't know how to use any road mapping tool and all you know is how to use Excel to do Gantt charts, it's fine. As the core is, do you know how to do it? If yes, what tool do you use? Okay, then the company will now say, oh, as a company we use product board. Then you just say, okay, yes, I've heard of product, or I've not heard of product board, but I'm a fast learner. I've learned quite a number of tools in my journey. Because the world is constantly changing, there are constantly new technologies to make things easier. So I've had to learn so many on the job. So yes, I can pick it up pretty fast. But yes, I understand the basic concepts behind. I understand how to do road mapping, and I can do it well. That's the core. And again, there are a number of things I'm stressing that you might think, why am I stressing them? And I'm doing that because of common misconceptions, and so that also you are not chasing the shiny new thing, the new tool, the new this, new that. First, what's the concept? Then the tool. So, but back to product lifecycle. The product goes through a certain life cycle. And when people are talking about the product life cycle, they are basically talking about the start points being when that product is introduced to the market. So most times the product life cycle does not actually cover the product discovery phase, like you trying to go through understanding the market, trying to come up with a product, trying to come up with MVP and building. So the primary focus of product lifecycle starts at, like, you've discovered products, you've built it, you're introducing it into the market. So, and the life cycle, if you think about any product, it goes through these phases. If product is first introduced into the market, right? Then that product goes through the growth. It starts if so at the introduction, few people know it. And the marketing, sales, and all those things, they are trying to push it. And the product is now growing, growing, growing. Then it goes to a point that it then enters maturity. So at maturity stage, that's where it peaks. So most of these companies, big companies, for example, Apple, Microsoft, most of them, they are at the maturity stage. And most times, what's next after maturity is decline. And to prevent that decline, so at that maturity stage, that's new things are not really happening. Most things are how do we make this, because then they are like, now the enterprise guys, you have a lot of customers, so you just want to keep them in. How do we keep these people in, and how do we make this more stable? How do we make this better? But you are just at that point, you are matured enough. There's really nothing new. Then at this point that these companies to prevent decline, they now start working on new products to introduce into the market, or maybe even acquiring new companies and all those things. So, and that's what happens with product extension. But really, the product life cycle is you introduce the product, then the product is growing, then the product gets to a point of maturity, then the product possibly, after a while, after staying in maturity for a while, the product starts declining. Then you now start finding ways to make sure that the product keeps being relevant. So product extension. So that product extension then helps with like another introduction. So the product extension basically now starts this introduction again, because then you've extended it, then that grows, that matures, then starts declining, and on and on and on. So that's how it works. And I won't talk too much about these phases. I mean, yeah, you can read about most of them online, but I'm also going to share this document so you can go through it. But the concept is what's important. And most times they will not, nobody will ask you this in interviews most times. So, but it's just, I just wanted us, it's also important to just know. So product introduction is just, like I said, when you are introducing the product into the market. So at this point, there have been a lot of promotional campaigns and PR, influencer marketing. The core is um, like to generate customer interest in the product and to establish that this product has value. That's this point. Then by the time they get to the growth phase, so I don't know if you've heard of growth PMs before, but this is where growth PMs come in. Now, our product has been introduced. We have 10,000 users, but we want to hit 1 million users. How do we do it? That's the part of growth. So what else can we do? How can we target more people, increase the segment, make the segment more open? What else can we add? Like, so this is where growth PMs actually shine, really. And then you have a lot of marketing here. So, but basically what's happening in growth is you have some people know you, but you don't have a lot of users, but you want to like round that up by a lot. So say you have 10,000 users, but 10,000 daily active users, but you want to get to 500,000 daily active users. How do we do it? That's growth. And maturity stages, the product has now matured. So here, it has peaked. Everybody knows you. A lot of people that we use you are already using you. Some people leave. Some new people keep coming in. But at this point, it is now focusing on how do we retain these people, and how do we make sure that this remains profitable? How do we remain relevant in a competitive market? How do we innovate to meet changing customer needs? So those are the things you are now looking at. You're looking at stability, you are looking at profitability, you are looking at remaining relevant. That's what happens in maturity stage. Then finally, decline. Decline is things start to fall, sales begin to fall, people begin to see a new shiny product there and they start using it. Then yeah, at this point, you're looking at how do we minimize losses, how do we manage product lifecycle costs, how do we decide the we need to decide the product's future. Should we kill this product as it live this lifestyle? Do we kill it or no? Don't forget that as a PM, your okay, we'll talk about it in the next part, the software development life cycle. So deciding if we should kill the product or we should spin it off as something new and all those things. That's what happens in decline and product extension, basically. Yeah, so that's all that about product life cycle. Now, the software development life cycle. If you're still with me, please thumbs up. And this is the final part, and we'll wrap it up here. All right, so, okay. All right, thank you. So, just with me. Now, the software development lifecycle. This basically is, now, the product lifecycle is talking about when you introduce the product and what happens in the market up to the end. Software development lifecycle in the other end is talking about the whole process from ideation, from the beginning of development to the very end, till deployment to maintenance and maybe killing the products in the market. It's talking about everything. There are, I'm just to, so if you go on, now this software development lifecycle is oftentimes one thing that it's important for me to talk about it now. Sometimes when you're interviewing, people ask you things related to this. Or if you say job advert, in the description, you see something like understands SDLC. Have you seen anything like that before? I don't know if you've looked at PM jobs before, but some jobs actually have that they will say understands the SDLC, software development lifecycle, or has managed a product all across the phases of the software development lifecycle. Any of those things, what they are referring to is this is quite easy and straightforward. And sometimes when you're asking, so say they ask you a question that you how would you go about building a new product that's not currently in the market? Say that's a question you are asked in the in an interview, and they could ask it in different ways. Some of your what they are, especially as an intern or like if you are just getting started, what they might be, what they are, some of the things they are looking at hearing the software development like cycle. So you can say thank you for that question. So I would go through the software development life cycle, which are in 6 phases. And now, which are in 6 phases. So the first thing I would do is I would go through the planning and analysis phase. So in this phase, I will this. And I'm going to talk about these phases. Yeah, I'm just trying to answer the question. Then once that is done, I'll then go into the design phase where we will this, and then we'll go into the implement or coding phase where we will this, and then we will go into the testing and integration phase where we'll test to make sure this, and then we'll deploy to the product into the market, which is the 5th phase of the SDLC, and then after that it's post deployment, maintenance, and all. So that's basically one of the things they want to hear. Again, it depends on the type of interview that you are doing. But SDLC is something that comes up a lot, and what it means basically is there's a software project or there's a software product. How do we manage it from beginning to the end? And if you go online and type SDLC, some will say 6 phases, some will say 5 phases, some will say 7 phases. They are the same thing. The ones that will say 7 phases, if you notice, this says planning and analysis. So the one that will say 7 phases, they will do planning as phase 1, analysis as phase 2, then design as phase 3. 6 will do planning and analysis as one phase. 5 will do implement and testing and integration as one phase. They will combine 3 and 4 together as one. So basically, they are the same thing. Either 4, 5 phase, 6 phase, 7 phases, they're all the same thing. It's just that they've combined or made some individual. But to go into it, what each of the phases mean. During planning, so what you do during planning basically is we want to build a project, right? We want to build a new product for an edtech industry. And we need to count the cost, right? We want to know, okay, how long will we build this product for? Like how soon do we want to launch this product? Or we say we need something that we can launch into the market in the next 6 months. You know, as a company, you have like a timeline. So I want to launch in the next 6 months, or we want to build a product, or the executive comes together. We want to build a product that will launch by the end of 2nd quarter of the year, and we have this budget. So we have 15 million to put towards this project, and the industry we want this to focus this project on. These are the things we want to solve. So some of those things is the planning. Like, not the planning is not you planning the product itself, how it's going to look and all those things, but just general things like setting the ground, putting things in place, because without the budget, without the timeline, there's really nothing to guide. So that's what happens in the planning. Then the analysis. So I'm trying to use 7. The analysis is when, so we've now said we want to build a product in the edtech space, or that case study that we looked at in the previously in the advertising space. So they want to build a product in the advertising space, and so we need to now analyze the features. So this is where requirement gathering now happens. Like, what are the requirements of this product? What are the features we think this product should have? Like analyzing those features, analyzing who are the people that will use this product. What are they? Will they be able to accomplish with this product, and all that. That's what's going in the analysis phase. So plan and analysis then becomes, if you're doing together as one phase, becomes, so you are planning like the core things you need for the project. But then all you are looking at the features, you are gathering the requirements, you're analyzing the requirements. Oh, we will have an admin portal, we should have a mobile app, and the mobile app will have login, logout, it will have being able to create an advertisement, be able to manage an advertisement, blah, blah, blah. So that's what you are doing in planning and analysis. Then design. When you think design, most people, oh, sorry, so let me just go. So we've talked about planning, and after this, we'll wrap it up actually. So planning and requirement gathering phase, or planning and analysis, you are basically doing all this. You are defining the project scope, objective, the deliverables, the budget, the timeline. You are gathering and analyzing user requirements. You are trying to understand what the software is to do, creating project plan with timelines. You are allocating resources. You are writing user stories and all. Then the design phase. Most people, when they hear design phase, they think the only thing that is happening here is that you are designing the UI, the look and feel of the product. But no, you are designing the look and feel, like the UI UX. So the product designer will work here. So basically, the goal here is to translate the requirements that you've gathered in phase 1, to translate it into a blueprint for the software itself. So that will require a UI UX, user interface design, that the product designer will work on. Then the software architecture, like how will all the parts of the software, how will they communicate with each other? How will there be an API? The technology you use, like, so there's something called architecture diagram and product architecture, where this is usually done by the engineering team, really. So then they are doing the data models, how the database will be set up, and all those things. So all that, everything, all the designs there is happening in this phase. So by the end of the phase, you have the UI design, that look and feel of the product, the system architecture diagrams itself, like the things that will power it, how the systems will interact with the API. Is there a third-party API? How to interact? It's going to send data to the database, how to interact with database, and all those things. Now, again, you don't need to know all the details of everything, but you just need to know this is what is happening at this point, and then work with the engineers, the product designers, any other person in doing this, during this phase, basically. Then the third phase is you have now, so by phase 2, you know the requirements, you know everything you want to code, you have the designs, and you have set it up. You have the architecture drawing, then you have set up the technology, you have set up the environment, everything that you need to work on. So the phase 3 is now development. This part is just simple. The developers are writing the code. That's what that is happening here. So they are translating the UI and your specifications, and requirement specifications, they are translating it into actual functionalities or features. That's what's happening in the development phase. Then the fourth phase, then testing and integration. So here you are testing, does this product have bugs? Does it have any defects? Is there any usability issue in the software? So you are doing unit testing, integration testing, user acceptance testing, manual testing, different kinds of testing. Basically, the core is, does this product, this thing that we've now built, does it meet functional and non-functional requirements? So that's what you are doing at testing and integration. Then launch. Basically, you've tested, everything is fine. You release the product, you launch the product to, now this is where the product life cycle starts. Don't forget, launch. As product life cycle starts at introducing the product to the market. So this is really where it starts. So you launch and basically are deploying the product so that now the external users, the people you've built it for, they can use it. And then the last, the sixth one we are talking about is the maintenance. So this is post-launch support. So you are basically constantly testing, making sure that bugs are fixed. You are taking feedback. You are adding new features. You're improving the software. Basically just support software to make sure that it's stable and it's secure. You're optimizing it, and you're constantly collecting feedback that and improving and implementing new features based on the feedback. That's what is in maintenance. So maintenance will be like around, mostly once you've deployed, most of the things that is left is you maintaining it, making sure that things are fine, adding more features and all that. Then it gets to a point where maybe the product is then going in the decline from the product life cycle, and you can now say kill the product. So at that point, even the process of killing the product, it's also product management, because you need to communicate to people that you are killing the product. You need to send the right messages. You need to maybe transition their data somewhere or delete their data. So every of those things also is involved. So so that can be like an additional phase if you want to do the product or spin it off into something else. Yes, so that's the 6 phases of software development lifecycle. And we'll stop there today, really, because we've spent almost in talking, we spent 1 hour 5 minutes thereabout in actual talking. So we should end it today. Question for you guys: did as a class been valuable? Just feedback from everybody generally. I just want to get your feedback to get a feel of how the class has gone. Has it been valuable to you in any way? Hello, is anybody there?
Yeah, I'll go first. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. For me, it's quite an interesting and insightful class. I've gained a lot in just the first meeting. All thanks to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Favor. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm just going to maybe 1 or 2 more. 5 or 2 more. Mary, Maki, Shamaka, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. It's really been an exciting time. Like, I've understood so many terminologies so far, and although I'm trying to catch up, but it's going well. It's going well, and I'm enjoying the way you explain everything. It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So Victoria, you dropped a comment. Chinonso also. Thank you so much for the feedback. So let me stop sharing. Let me stop recording now. So again, I will, once this recording is available, I'll probably post it on YouTube so you guys can. Oh God, that means I'll find a way to. I'll find a way to get it